KRBE. Let's get started. It's the Roula and Ryan Show.
Wake up, fool!
Hey, wake up!
It's about to get all stupid up in here!
Right here. Featuring Eric.
Eric? He is a bad, bad man.
Special K.
The big red K.
Are you threatening me?
I'm waiting for you.
And Sam.
I am a wuss! I am a wuss!
You've waited long enough.
How the heck do you pronounce this woman's name?
Roula. And Ding Dong. Ryan. 104.1 KRBE.
Houston, Texas.
Good morning.
Good morning. It is Monday, July the 15th of 2024. We're right smack in the middle of the month of the summer.
Yeah.
It is 6:01 a.m. with the gang. Roula, Ryan, Eric, Special K. Sam's out. Amon's in. And here we go. We are in the studio, and there's air conditioning.
Air conditioning, I know.
I can't believe it. We got power at 9801 Westheimer. I still don't have power at my house.
Neither do we. Neither do we.
We meaning... you and your fiance.
Me
when you
and-
say we, you make it sound like it's people in this room.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
You ever living together?
Me and my fiance Jen, still 1 week after Beryl, no power. Right now, the current number. Now, what it says on KPRC, click to Houston, it says 270,000. Eric, you're getting reports like it's maybe as low as 245,000.
Still sucks.
Still sucks. CenterPoint has returned power to 1.8 million customers total, about 80% of its service area. Y'all,
Well, they want a cookie for that?
here's the thing that was so frustrating. So we've got dogs, and we're like, it's ungodly hot for these poor things. And we decided to take a road trip on Saturday. We're just driving around with the dogs, getting some AC in the car, and we drive up the Beltway. We're going by the race park, where they have the races with the horses and everything. And that's the hub where CenterPoint, all these linemen from out of the state came to gather. Y'all, there must have been hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of lineman trucks just parked there.
But you don't know what they're doing there.
In the middle of the afternoon.
Doing there.
We wanted to pull in and say, hey, we got a neighborhood you can come to right now. You don't have to sit here and wait for management to tell you where the hell to go.
That's my
we'll
thing.
tell you right now. Come to our neighborhood. There's no freaking power.
I'll never say a bad word to those linemen.
No,
linemen
that's
and
the thing.
women.
We will
It's all about the suits.
Yeah.
You see the guy?
Yeah.
The CEO of CenterPoint?
Yes.
He's telling everyone, you need to put your temperature at 78.
And then he's sitting in front of literally a thermostat that said 72.
Or 70.
I don't know if that's necessarily real. I think that's got to be a
But
fake.
the way he was saying things, I'm like, this guy.
Because, it's so prominently displayed in the picture. You can see a thermostat right behind it. It says 70. And I'm thinking, there's no way that had to be photoshopped in.
Well, I met. The positive was there were about, I feel like, 8 guys on my street yesterday, which everyone was like, your neighborhood thread starts to go crazy. Like, yay, the trucks are here, the trucks are here. And they brought this giant pole so they could replace this one thing that looks like 2 blender beaters and a bunch of spaghetti. And I was like, okay, so I walked over and I was like, what's the, they love that. What's
Oh, yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah. They're like, oh, here comes Karen over here.
I feel like it was the end of the day because I just gotten back from Galveston where we have power in Galveston, but I don't have power in my house here. And so I was like, hi, I just got back from being in Galveston. I don't know what the scoop is. It looks like it's the end of your day. What's the update? And this one guy was really nice. He's from Illinois. And he was just saying how this particular part of this job that connects my house and a whole bunch of others is a really difficult one because of the way everything fell around it, because of the way the wires snapped, because of the way all these trees clustered together. So they were hoping they would try and get it back for us today, but it wasn't going to happen. And he's hoping maybe for tomorrow, which is today now. So yay, maybe I'll get back today. But yeah,
see.
I don't ever fault the actual people who are doing the work.
Well, there's some terrible things happening right now. There's a report on Chron.com in the Houston Chronicle that some of these linemen have been threatened, like physically threatened. Somebody waved a gun at one of them, and this is not acceptable, people. These men are out there doing their job. They're not the ones making the decisions.
Even when I was building my house 12 years ago, that they had to get in the backyard of my neighbors to hook stuff up, and those neighbors pull guns, or they'd say, nope, you're not allowed on my property. It's like, well, actually...
They
call
are.
the cops. Well, the police will come here and let me go back there. You don't own that middle part, whatever they call it.
The pole with all
the pole, yeah.
the electricity on it.
And it's sad that these guys are trying to do their job and people are threatening them. Now, here's the thing that I kind of have a problem with. Remember, we have no choice. We have one place we can go to for energy. There's only one place. It clearly is a monopoly. But if you're going to have the power down and you know it's down, these contractors, these linemen that came from out of state, remember, they're all hired by CenterPoint. They're subcontractors. They're hired out by CenterPoint. Why only bring that many? Why not bring, 20,000 linemen over here and get the job done quickly? It is possible. They're a for-profit organization. They're worth billions and billions of dollars.
I don't know how you take...
those people are like, I'm not leaving. I'm in Illinois right now. I don't want to go down there.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't get into the
I'm just saying they could have spent the money
up here, but I don't know, because is there like a certain percentage of every state's or every city's linemen
that they can let loose?
They can let loose?
You just bitched about them being stuck over at Sam Houston Parkway. You had 10,000 more.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot more sitting around.
That's a good point.
Right.
They don't have
have
a
their
plan.
crap together for 10,000 of them. What are you going to do, 20,000?
You're right.
Yeah.
They should have had a plan.
And somebody just texted, just remember that linemen work on the lines.
Yeah.
They do not have the equipment to cut the trees off the lines.
Nope.
They have to wait for the tree trimmers to get the trees off the lines, and then they can do the lines. That's true.
Yeah,
It's the whole process.
Yeah, I didn't realize that after derecho. Like, why can't y'all just plug it back in? Well, there's trees laying on it. We're not the treemen. That's the other guy.
Well, maybe
he's
you
going
should
to
hire some of them.
Bring some lumberjacks in.
Well, I'll tell you what, I still see...
I'm a lumberjack.
I see a ton of those huge black trucks that kind of roll in tandem, and they're full of trees, and they're still taking trees from derecho. And now they got to start all over again back where they began and go through it again with the hurricane and derecho now.
Y'all, the amount of lumber that is being produced by all these fallen trees, and you see all the sides of the streets covered. I'm thinking somebody on the East Coast that has a wood burning fireplace really needs some of this.
Oh, I was wondering if we'd see like a reduction in price, like when we're at the grocery store during the winter and they're selling the firewood.
Well, I've seen some of these places where they're taking these, and it's massive areas of land.
Isn't
and then
there
they're
one off Westview, Kev, on I-10 or something? I saw one.
You were at one of them.
I've been. Now I've seen two of them.
Are they mulching it?
One of them is where HCC is on the Beltway and I-10, and the other one is around North Main and Cross Timbers, and it is just huge swaths of land with all these like limbs built up. And then what they're doing is they're shredding them into mulch. So there's got to be some free mulch out there for us, at least for this season.
That's what I was wondering. What are they doing with all this?
People, I did see, was it Travis Herzog talk about his daughter she was helping move the tree branches and stuff. She got stung by one of those asps.
Oh, God, the asps are the worst because you don't even know what it is until your hand is on it. I've been stung by one before.
It's
It's
like a furry
horrible.
caterpillar.
Yes, y'all.
Yeah.
It doesn't even look like
It hurts.
It doesn't even look like a caterpillar because caterpillars in your mind, when you think caterpillar, it's like very skinny little.
This is like a fat thing, right?
This is really fat. It looks like a piece of fur. It just looks like I don't know, just a piece of fur. So I had a fur coat and a chunk of it came off. It's laying there. You have no idea. A lot of times it's cream colored. Sometimes they're black. And my daughter put her hand on a cream colored one once, and it feels like 1,000 quills from a porcupine in your hand. One fell on me one time when I was in the front yard, and I didn't know what had happened to me. And I go, what is this? What is this? And it was burning so bad. I had to take a Benadryl and go to bed just to get rid of the pain.
You did say, I forgot about that. You talked about that once. You take like packing tape and you put it over that part that got burned. Stung.
Oh, really?
Yeah, to
And
rip off
try to get those needles out.
That's
But you do it
interesting.
slowly. You don't rip it like you just gently pull it out.
Okay, but it's not just the
Like a
asps
Band-Aid.
you got to worry about. Last week I told this story. We were trying to clear brush. We had like 5 big, huge trees go down on our property, and they, kind of shattered all over the place, branches everywhere. So we can't obviously carry these gigantic thousands of pounds of tree trunks with us, but we got all the small stuff. And like I said, my fiance Jen's wearing workman gloves. She's all take charge getting this stuff done. And I'm going out there trying to help. She's like, you'll be sorry. You got to put a pair of workman gloves on. If you don't have a pair of gloves, don't
Are
be
you
doing
going to tell us
that.
you got bit by fire ants again?
No, I'm just saying, like, you should if you're trying to
told
protect
us.
yourself from getting those asps,
Kevin's like,
those bites, and all those things.
I could read Kevin's face.
was like-
He's like, here comes with the ants again.
But then it brings back memories of all sitting here in the heat. You guys are stuck in here. Did you get any? I know you went to the baseball game yesterday.
That was
But even
really
that's
great.
not that cold. It's
It's always hot in Minute
those guys
Park.
are sweating. Every guy pitching and is like you can see through those crappy uniforms they have now. The new Fanatics.
We noticed that up
Uniforms are
close.
cheaper.
I bought really
Again now?
good tickets. I was looking at Jen and I'm like, She's miserable. I'm miserable. And I'm like, let's do this right. So I bought good seats to the Astros, and we were close enough to see them. And she's like, what's up with the uniforms? Like, what are those huge sweat stains?
Yeah.
Is that part of the design? I said, no, that's sweat.
I
That's
thought
sweat.
Kevin would have liked last night. It was Colombia versus Argentina for the Copa America.
Soccer.
And they were in
Football.
Miami, so they were all sweating. I'm like, this guy's bent over, like out celebrating with his white shorts. All
need my
soaked.
drop.
I'm like, oh, Kevin would have loved this. Kevin would have been cheering on Argentina.
But you say it's not that cold. It's cold when you haven't had AC.
Yeah, where's your drop back? He'll get it in a second. He's running the board. No.
No? Oh, I know which one you're talking about.
You'll hear it in a few seconds once he finds out.
He's having to run
He
back
might be
and
down,
forth.
though.
Now, I want to give a big shout out to our Corps of Engineers here. Our big, they brought in our corporate engineers over the weekend. They got this building up and running. They got everything working here. And
It was so hot in
Thank
this
you.
studio last week, guys, that our firefighter calendar furled. Like
Yeah.
it
I had to take it
curled
out.
over. We had to take it out. It was
Can we
so
smash it
hot
back?
in here.
We're not
Everything
whining. It
is
was
just
like
so
100
crazy.
degrees in here. It was really bad.
For those that
I
maybe
know.
were on vacation last week and now you're back and you're like, oh, what happened? Well, we had Hurricane Beryl. And last week we tried to be in here. And for the first time in like 20 plus years, we
We had
could
to walk
not.
out.
We were like, this is not of safe. And we had no
Even our
water, no
boss came in
power.
and she's the one who called it.
No
Yeah,
toilets.
she's like, you guys can't be here. There was no working water, no toilets. The smell was starting to get really, really bad in here. And there were fumes coming off.
We
Remember?
were trying to separate by then having whoever could be home be home. So me and Eric had broadcast from the house. Then the three of y'all were in here. 'cause
Sam
the day
and Kevin
before
and
it was
I
so
were in
bad
here.
with 6 people in the room. We thought less body heat might be better the next day, but it was even worse that day. And our boss was like, "Okay, we're just going to end the show now." So we ended the show at like 8 o'clock. And we told everybody, "Hey, listen, this is not safe for us. We have to get out of here." And then we just played best ofs and. It just was, it's just a part of the thing. It's the reality of where we are. We didn't have any power in this grid over here at KRB's.
That's what I'm glad that we're not like a syndicated
location.
show. Because if you're syndicated, then you're just talking about life and not even.
You can't
Tell
talk
us how
about what's
hot it
happening
was.
in your life.
And then you turn on hear Roula and Ryan, and then what the hell are they talking about? 10 cures for the hiccups.
10 cures for the hiccups.
10 cures.
I don't know. Are there even 10 cures? I don't know.
Oh, I forgot to tell you, though. There was one good thing. You mentioned I went to the Astros game, so free Chick-fil-A sandwiches today.
What did they do? Oh,
So,
they hit the pole.
yeah. Jake Myers hit the pole, and it lit up, and it said chicken. So here's what you got to do. You got to get the Chick-fil-A app to redeem your
It's
chicken
only available
sandwich.
next Sunday, guys, so good luck.
Yeah, you got to sign up for the restaurant's
Is it wait
app.
until next week?
Yeah, next Sunday is the only day you can get it.
Yeah, but still,
It's closed on Sundays. Don't lie.
no, Sundays. It took me a second there to get
Come on.
I'm not
that.
open on
We're
Sundays.
not open on Sunday.
That'd be a good scam, though.
No, but you can get the Chick-fil-A app and get a free chicken sandwich. So that's nice.
Got that going for me. Got no
Which is
power.
nice.
Which is
I got no
I got
power.
a free chicken sandwich.
But that was the thing, it was so hard to get it. Now with so many people getting their power back, you can actually get ice, but we were having the hardest problem finding ice for the cooler because
yeah.
everybody's power was out initially.
You didn't call me.
Yep. Roula would have hooked you
Told
up.
you.
No, I didn't even know. I didn't even
some of
think.
I told you on Wednesday on the air.
Yeah.
dip.
Well, no,
How you
after
gonna
that,
get that ice?
after that we were able to, but the first 3 days you couldn't.
So today on the Roula and Ryan Show, lots to cover. So, celebrity passings come in threes.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely 3 celebrity passings and a near assassination attempt over the weekend, which is so crazy. So we're going to go over all that in Scoop. Here's your weather for today.
It's going to be hot. High of mid-90s. Right now, 78 degrees and 614 on the Roula and Ryan Show.
I'm very proud to present Roula and Ryan's Celebrity Scoop on 104.1 KRBE.
Celebrity Scoop is brought to you by Taquerias Arandas. And as we are trying to pick up the pieces from the aftermath of a week ago of Hurricane Beryl, there are a lot of things that are still going on, meaning 200,000+ people still don't have power. That includes me and
About
Ryan. I do not have that.
270,000 people right now still without power 1 week after Beryl hit.
And think about all the things that get affected when there is no power. The blood banks lose their supply because the refrigerators go down. So today we are helping the Greater Houston, the Gulf Coast Regional Blood Center. Sorry, I said Greater Houston. Gulf Coast Regional Blood Center try to resupply what they need. And there's a blood drive at 2 different locations. One is in Edo, one is in Katy at Grand Parkway and Clay. Both locations are big city wings. The one in Edo is at 2240 Navigation. The other location is on the Grand Parkway in Katy at the Grand Parkway and Clay. And you can go there and donate blood. And the Gulf Coast Regional Blood Center and the blood supply has been significantly impacted. Many blood drives throughout the city were canceled, of course, and several donor centers were temporarily closed because of the power outages, which then took out the on-hand blood supply. And then whatever they did have, they've been using it because there's still emergencies.
And I always think summertime is like, when I used to work like rock stations. I was in Dallas, and then we'd have big blood drives in July. 'Cause I guess it's because a lot of people are on vacation. People aren't doing the normal... Because a lot of people just do it every month.
Oh, yeah,
They
then they're
go
out of
there,
town.
and they're out of town for that, month, and things are different, and they're low, and then you had a hurricane on top of that, power out for a week.
So when the blood supplies are low, hospitals have to decide where the blood's going to go. Non-life-threatening procedures that require blood are typically canceled first to help conserve the supply for emergencies and life-threatening needs. An adequate blood supply, of course, we know is crucial to better prepare us for when disasters like this occur. All blood types are needed to help treat patients in area hospitals. So here's how you can help. You can show up at those two locations today, starting at 2 o'clock until 6 o'clock. Big City Wings in Edo, Big City Wings in Katy. And you can do your part to help resupply the blood bank.
That is an awesome thing you can do. It really is.
And it's not
You are
hard to do.
truly
You just
giving
sit
the
there
gift
and
of
let 'em do
life.
it. They just do all the work for you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
you
look
just sit
away.
there. You just sit there.
I don't even feel. I look away. See, I think a lot of it's psychological in your head when you have a needle go in you. But I just look the other direction, and they're so good at what they do, you can't even feel the needle go in.
And ladies, tell your husbands if they're doing those testosterone shots and stuff, because a lot of times those guys have to get that for the red plates. They have to get rid of that blood. It makes a lot more or something. I guess.
Oh, I didn't know
They were
that.
saying that. So
Slough off some blood? Is that what you're saying?
You got too much blood there, guys.
I'm
Give some
overloading.
Thank you for doing that.
Got to get rid of some.
By the way, if you
so
can't make it
give
to
some.
those two, or let's say you want to host a blood drive in your area, you can go to giveblood.org and they can set that up for you. So you can get another area
Instead of
covered.
a lemonade stand, I'll do a blood drive.
Yeah.
Eric's
Giveblood.org.
blood. I would go by there. He is with a little cardboard sign in his front yard.
Well,
Got blood.
If you can make it to Big City Wings, I recommend the mango habanero.
that
I
sounds
love
good.
it.
Oh,
It's
that is
so
Question is,
delicious.
can you eat wings while you're laying there? I don't know if that's allowed.
Yeah,
You have to wait. Okay, so celebrity passings come in three. In this case, we have 2 local, 3 national, and an attempted assassination on President Trump, former President Trump, when he was at one of his rallies. I don't have to go over that 1,000 times for you because you've probably seen all the news of the person who made it to some rooftop that was unsecured.
That was a fail.
That's crazy.
Isn't
Yeah.
that crazy?
Yeah.
That's
Of all
crazy.
the things we know,
He's a
that person
20-year-old
that was
kid,
out
too.
there-
Have you seen his mugshot?
I just watched the people that saw them and said, we told the police we could see him. They couldn't see him from their angle because they were farther back to see on top of the roof. And the cop, I guess, like poked his head like just looked up and saw the guy and saw the gun and went back down.
Oh, my God.
That's what they're saying.
But
That's
it
what-
also looked like a sniper had spotted him right beforehand.
Maybe it was, and then he had no time because they
Maybe.
Well, the attempted
There's still a lot of
shooter, he was put down. He was dead pretty
yeah.
quick.
And there were 3 people who lost their lives, and the Trump campaign turned to fundraising for those victims. $3.4 million have been raised to benefit these victims and their families. All donations will be directed to these Americans as they grieve and recover. Kid Rock donated $50,000. UFC President Dana White kicked off with $50,000. A separate GoFundMe page to benefit the family of Corey Comparator. Let me say his name right. Corey Comparator. He was shot dead while shielding his wife and his daughters. He is a volunteer firefighter and father of 2. That GoFundMe page just for him has raised more than $750,000. And the other 2 men that were wounded are David Dutch and James Copenhaver. So $3.4 million has been raised for those victims
They're injured and
that were injured and killed. When we go to the celebrity passings, Richard Simmons is the first one I'm going to talk about. He passed away on Saturday, one day after his 76th birthday, after all this talk for the last year of whether he's alive or not.
Because he'd been
he
a
wasn't
complete
in public.
recluse. Nobody has seen or
Right.
heard from him in years.
They say he did post on social media just hours before his passing. Richard Simmons, for those that
his
don't...
brother did. I know his brother was on his own account.
Oh,
Okay.
so,
Said,
so that's
this-
where the post came
that
from.
the post came from his
Okay.
But
brother.
the thing is that Richard Simmons, during his heyday, really up until just a few years ago, was always like a staple of talk shows. He would pop in on everybody's show. This
The first
guy
celebrity
was
I ever
so,
met.
Really?
so out there.
As an intern, he came in our studio in Chicago. And
Was he all like?
it was hilarious because
With his tank top and
the
his
guy I
glitter
worked with named
shorts.
Steve Cochran. He dropped his pants
Uh-huh.
and had a long shirt so it covers his body.
Uh-huh.
He waddled over to Steve Cochran, the guy I worked with, and gave him a big hug behind him.
Oh, that's funny.
I wish I saved that audio. Just
Oh my God!
I
Richard
didn't take photos
Simmons-
then. You don't do selfies.
But he's one of those
Yeah.
guys, he was never
Always-
off.
he was always
on.
And he
on.
came to fame in the 80s when he got people healthy. He would go on these like Great Day Houston's or Good Morning America type places, and he had his own show where he would do aerobics, and it was like the housewives workout on
Well,
TV.
his big
Rocking
video.
to the oldies.
It was Sweating to the
Sweating to the
Oldies.
Oldies.
Sweating to the
Yeah.
Oldies is what
Even did
really made
cruises.
him.
Sweating
And
to
then
the
Deal
oldies
Meal?
cruise ship.
Do you
I
remember
have
Deal
one of his
Meal?
VHS tapes. I had
Do you
to
really?
get that. I had to get
Oh,
that.
I
For your
bet that's-
collection?
Yeah,
The
for
thing
my
is
collection.
that he was a former overweight person who turned his life around and decided to become something with
If
that.
you want
Here's
something
how it
funny,
started.
watch. Type in Richard Simmons on Whose Line Is It Anyway? With Wayne Brady and the other two guys. I forget their names.
He was on that?
They used him, and he was so funny.
Oh, that's
You'll
good to
just-
watch.
you'll cry
'Cause it's all
laughing for-
improv.
It's all improv, and just what he does is hilarious.
Richard Simmons was an obese child, and he turned his life around at 16 when somebody left a note on his car that said, "Dear Richard, you are very funny, but fat people die young. Please don't die." And that clicked for him. Then he went on this mission to become healthy and make everybody else healthy. So he did different things for people who just felt like there was no other way out. This is way before the way you could do the kinds of things we do now were even available. It was either you're going to be overweight or you're not unless you figure out how to move. He had created this thing called Deal-A-Meal, where it was more like gimmicks just to get you to organize
With
how
the
you're
cards or
eating with these
something?
cards. And it was like a billfold with cards. And the cards start on the right side for the day. And then every time you eat this category of food, you have to move the card to the left side. And when your cards are done, you're done for the day.
Before Weight Watchers
That helped
and
a lot
points.
of people lose weight.
Okay.
Yeah.
No one did that back then.
Right. Richard Simmons was a force.
Sad.
Who else passed away?
Then Shannon Doherty passed away from cancer. That one really hit me because we've been talking about Shannon Doherty for a long time. She's
It's a
been
long
very
battle.
public about her battle with cancer, and she was first diagnosed with breast cancer in 2015. She went into remission in 2017. She was in a court battle with her insurance company in 2020. Then she said she was dying of stage 4 breast cancer there. Over a year ago, she said it spread to her brain. A few weeks ago, she had gone public and said she was hopeful about her upcoming chemo treatments. Yeah, and people know her for so many things. She started as a child actress on Little House on the Prairie. Of course, I know her as Brenda Walsh on Beverly
She
Hills
was in-
90210, the original.
What was that one?
She was in
Deidre-
Charmed.
Deidre Hall was her mom.
She was Our House.
Our house.
She was the daughter in Our House.
Yeah.
She was in Heathers. She was with the Heathers. It was like the original Mean Girls, Heathers. And she's and gosh, yesterday I saw some memes from the 90210 fans that were like, Luke Perry was there to welcome her with open arms. Here's part of her. She didn't really do a documentary. It was a really good interview that she had done going through her cancer journey, where she talks about death.
I'm not afraid of death because I know where I'm going. I know, the people that I'm going to see. I think I would be afraid of death if I wasn't a good person, but I am. I don't want to die. That's the difference. I'm not afraid of dying. I just don't want to die. Like, ever. I'm not done with life. I'm not done with living. I'm not done with loving. I'm not done with creating. I'm not done with, hopefully changing things for the better.
I can completely respect what she's saying. People that have had long cancer battles, there have been 2 that I've had throughout the years, and you get to a point where you're not afraid of death. You don't want to die, but you get to that point where you accept to live in the moment. And having my cousin who's lived at my house for 6 months and watching him battle stage 4, he's the same way. He's an inspiration to me because he lives every day and doesn't sit around and think about it. You just learn to love life and cherish the little things. So
Well,
I
Sharon
understand
was
that.
53 years old as she passed away from cancer. I was really like, oh no. Then the other one was Dr. Ruth Westheimer. She was another person from the 80s. The same time Richard Simmons was super, super famous. She was very famous. She was a sex expert. People had never talked about that kind of stuff on
He helped
television.
diets, and she helped with your
Bedroom stuff.
activities.
She was 96 years old. She had
Wow.
become a media icon, and she made a career out of looking and sounding like your kindly little European grandma while she's talking about private parts and things that are happening in the bedroom. Two local things here. Ken Hoffman, who was with the Post first for many years and the Chronicle.
He was with the Chronicle
and Culture Map most recently.
22 years at the Chronicle and then went over to Culture Map.
Suddenly passed away at his home. And then Jacoby Jones, I say it's local because he was a Houston Texan. He wasn't living here. He was in New Orleans. At 40 years of age, he passed away.
Did they say what?
Cause of death is still unknown. He played 5 seasons with the Texans. He later won a Super Bowl. He won a Super Bowl ring with the Ravens.
Texans,
right.
Everybody wanted to
hurt him.
say bad things about him. Everyone
Because
was mad
he fumbled that.
Yeah, the kickoff or something. Or
I remember that.
The punt.
I forget what happened. I just remember everyone's like, get rid of him. He's a bum. And then they got rid of him. And he got a Super Bowl ring, at least, from it. He was on Dancing with the Stars. Did he win it? Or was he just on it? I think he was
just
Oh,
on
no,
it.
I remember seeing him with Katy Perry.
I know he was just a good dude. Happy.
Yeah,
dude.
40 years old.
Man, what
So young.
What a weird weekend.
Yeah.
It really was a weird weekend. So, all right, coming up next, we're going to go around the table. There's a lot to go over. I think I'm going to bring this up unless you want to talk about this in detail later, but this is good.
We can talk about that here.
The way we
let's
eat
get away
certain
from something
foods.
with death and no power.
Yes, the way we eat certain foods, people will riot if you eat it wrong. Like, why are you eating that like that? You're eating that wrong.
Like there's a guy I watch on TikTok. He's from England. He comes over here to America and he just does videos. He's in Texas right now, and they ate a taco. He beat the taco in the middle.
Oh gosh.
Oh, you ruined
And
it.
it actually it made the news and that San
Yeah, that would
Antonio and all
make me
that.
a little
Oh,
mad.
my
British
gosh.
guys? Yeah, the two British. We're going to have some
They're in
Tex-Mex
Fort
for the
Worth
first
right now.
time.
They're over
Yeah.
in Fort Worth.
Okay, well, it's not about the taco being bit in the middle. It has to do with mac and cheese and how it's properly supposed to be eaten. We'll talk about that and more next on the Roula and Ryan Show.
With more of the Roula and Ryan Show.
Okay, we're going to take a break
Here we
from
go.
the hurricane and the power and all these like heavy things.
We're gonna do some serious topics here.
This
right?
is very serious
Yes.
because this is something that will affect your life every day if you like mac and cheese.
Oh yeah.
Or you have a kid in your life that loves mac and cheese. I said earlier that there are people who will riot over the way you eat food. Like, don't even get Eric started about hot dogs and ketchup. We don't have time for that tangent.
Nope.
But yesterday was
I agree.
National Mac and Cheese Day. Mac and cheese is so simple. You just boil some pasta. You make the cheese sauce, whether you want to use Velveeta, powdered cheese, make it from scratch, many different ways. But here is where the fight comes in. How do you eat mac and cheese? Is it to be eaten with a fork, with a spoon, or perhaps you have some plastic sporks hanging around and you're going to do that to scoop and stab?
I would say a fork, and hear me out, because you want it hot, and with a spoon, you get in there and it's really too hot. A fork at least has some vents, obviously with a little space and a little hole, so it kind of cools it down a little bit. And that the cheese in that, it's not, if it's too soupy, that's not right anyway. That's not good mac and cheese.
No, it shouldn't be runny.
Yeah, it shouldn't be runny.
Well,
so
not
it's not
runny,
gonna,
but creamy. If there's a lot
creamy's
of
not
cheese
gonna, like,
sauce,
drip
though,
like-
Eric, I think there's a lot of
we've
cheese
always
sauce. I
done it
feel
with
like
a
it
spoon.
probably needs a spoon.
Go to
Yeah.
Luby's and look
But
at those.
yes.
Like that doesn't go through the fork. It just sticks there.
Right.
That's a good mac and cheese.
If it's a dry mac and cheese, like an Easy Mac bowl from the microwave that you
That's
mix
why
and then
it's
it sits, you could use a fork to stab at it because it starts to get gelatinous if you let it sit
You
too
stir
long.
it with the fork. Like, for instance, my daughter always loved those Amy's meals, those mac and cheese that
Is it
you get.
Annie's?
Annie's.
Annie's.
And with the
Annie's.
bunny?
Yeah.
The
Yeah, the
bunny.
bunny.
Oh,
Yeah,
those
yeah,
are
yeah.
gross.
So we'd stir them in the, you'd put them in the microwave for like
Same thing as
3
Easy Mac.
minutes, stir them, and then put them in for another 2 minutes and stir it.
I must have been so poor. We didn't even have the Kraft Mac. We had it was a yellow box that said mac and cheese.
Oh, it's generic.
It was
Yeah.
it was awesome.
Put a little bit of government cheese on top.
Yeah, whatever that. But
Hey,
here's
look.
something. I found out my wife, when she makes mac and cheese,
Yeah.
she'll take the pasta out, drain it, and then she puts the butter and the stuff together in the pan and scoops it
Yeah,
around.
she takes the extra
Absolutely.
step. Yeah.
I'm going, that's smart. I always just put it back, the noodles, and I'd pour the stuff on top of it and put the milk. And
That's
then
'cause you're
mix
a
it that
dude.
way.
That's
We're
okay.
dudes do
instant.
things like that.
That's for instant.
That's
but
what
if
I'm
you're
saying.
making,
I'm just saying.
okay, not the homemade stuff.
I'm just saying, like the
Yeah.
cheap, with that powder.
Yeah, I love that.
I'd pour the powder. I put the butter on first, kind of melt it with the noodles.
I
and
know
then put the
exactly what you're
powder
saying.
on.
I probably do that too, but like real mac and cheese, you got to stir that cheese mixture
Yes.
up.
Yes.
What is this proper way?
So 24% of people say it is to be eaten with a spoon. 70% of people say you eat it with a fork. Really? 6% request a spork if it's available. One person said it depends on how the mac and cheese is served. This person said, my rule is if it is served on a plate, I will eat it with a fork. If
Yep.
it is served in a bowl, I will eat it with a spoon.
I love
That's
that.
it.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
Pretty
it.
good.
yeah, because
That's
you want
it.
to scoop it all
How
up.
come the metal spork never made it?
Oh, that's a
don't
good
know.
point.
I
Actually-
figure Kentucky Fried Chicken, do they own the patent on it or something?
On the sport?
There is, you know,
the first
Eric,
one I
when
ever
I went to the Houston Museum of Natural Science, one of the many times I've been there with my kids, but you go to the gift shop. I really love the gift shop there, by the way. This is like a little secret gem of amazing gifts you don't even realize. But, you know, they have kids stuff and they have adult stuff, and my daughter begged me for this astronaut spork. The handle is an astronaut, is a white, like,
helmet,
little guy, like a little guy. There's a handle, and then there was a spork, and it was like, I don't know, something ridiculous, like $12 or something.
Damn.
And I was like, oh my god, there's a $12 spork. Like, we're not getting that. And then she's like begging me, please, mommy, please, can't we have that, please? And I said, if I buy you this, you have to eat every meal with this. I'm not kidding you. You are never going to get rid of this. Y'all, to this day, we still have that astronaut spork in my drawer right now. If you go to my house and you open the silver drawer, there's the spork with the astronaut, and she used it and used it and used it and used it.
So rubbed off?
But it's a metal spork with an astronaut handle.
So there is one.
We still have it
I've
from
never seen
HMNS.
At Williams-Sonoma or somewhere, do they have?
No, they don't have that in the
Williams.
industry.
I was like,
They're
Williams
so-
Sonoma would probably be like an $80
That's what I'm
store.
saying. They're
Probably.
cool. It's like people that do those shoes that make them all dirty.
Oh,
Oh,
the
God.
distressed shoes.
Not.
My wife has, what was this?
Balenciaga. I went to go
starts
see
with a
those in
G or
Vegas. I
something?
cannot.
I'm
There's
like,
a star on
save
it.
your $250
Golden
bucks.
Goose.
Give me a new pair of cheap shoes. I'll make them look like crap in no time.
No, I feel like I went, speaking of those, when we went to Vegas for, is it your birthday, right? Not your wife's, your birthday. We
Yeah,
went.
it was January.
I went with his wife and her friends. You know, there's a lot of high-end shops in these casinos. So we were just window shopping. We would go inside, and Balenciaga had those stupid shoes for like, they didn't even have a price on them. I was like, how much is it? How
We're
much
talking
is
like $500
No,
tennis shoes that look like they're
Those are probably
beat
more
up.
than
No,
that.
these were like $2,500.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
And they looked
that is insane.
ridiculous. They looked like my kids had just come back from camp on field day.
All beat up.
And I was so trying to not be a snark ass in that store. Like, are you guys serious with this? Because those guys were all like, there's a scene in Beverly Hills Cop that made the rounds again on TikTok because of the new Beverly Hills Cop on
still never
Netflix.
saw that.
And it is with the guy who was in
good.
Perfect Strangers. What was that guy's name?
Balky.
No, but his actual real actor
Bronson
name.
Pinchot.
Bronson Pinchot. If you've seen this on TikTok, where it's Axel Foley talking to the guy in the museum
Serge.
gallery, Serge, he's like, "No, I'm not. I cannot. This is like $25,000, like that." That's how these guys were like. These shoes are $2,500 or what? $5,200,
Snobs.
whatever the hell it was.
Snobs.
I'm like, how with a straight face do you guys sell this to people? And you know they're probably like, because they're the dummies that are
They're
buying
buying
it.
it.
Yeah, that's true. By the way,
dummies
I
that
want to watch
want
that
it.
Long Legs movie that did really well this week. But
Yeah. It did well?
I haven't seen it yet, but I went. I had to see what the ending was.
It's at the theater
you
and
saw the
streaming.
ending?
I just looked it up
Yeah, it's really creepy.
because
Like,
everyone's bad about the ending.
I
Long
mean, it
Legs?
threw me for a loop. I was not expecting that ending.
And is that good that it did that? You're like,
still
wow.
Don't know.
Or you feel
I was
unfulfilled?
just happy to be out of the house and have some air
Well, you know,
conditioning.
it is at the theaters and it's also streaming because we saw
Is
it.
it streaming?
Is it?
I saw it when I
It
looked
just
at,
opened yesterday.
I know, but when I was looking at the Xfinity, because I went back to my old house over the weekend and I was like, oh,
It
let's
wasn't an
watch
ad?
something. I don't know. It looked like it was already streaming.
I don't think it's on.
When I Googled it, it's not on streaming.
Oh, by the way, if you're a
Long
big,
Legs.
if you're a big, like, you know, NASA fan here in Houston, we went and saw Fly Me to the Moon with, Channing
That's
Tatum.
out already?
Yeah, and it was really, really good.
How full are the movie theaters when y'all are going
Yeah.
to movie
It
theaters?
was
I
pretty
went
full.
opening night. It was packed.
It was
Because
pretty full.
I've driven by movie theaters and the parking lots are packed. And
Yeah.
I'm thinking, okay, people
Because we're
need
trying to
some
beat the
relief
heat.
from. I was like, it's
That's
nice
why
to
I
have
mean,
their
the
AC
movie-
back.
It's supposed to be like a backup plan, right? It's not supposed to be.
It's about the whole premise of the movie is they hired an ad firm, NASA, and what's her
They're not-
face?
they're not-
She
Scarlett
plays
Johansson.
Black. She plays Black
Scarlett
Widow.
Johansson. They're-
Scarlett Johansson.
They're faking the moon landing.
They filmed it. They filmed an actual moon landing that they did on a soundstage, and they were going to go with that. But then they realized that, hey, we can't do this. We're going to go with the live feed. And it was a good thing they didn't, because at the last minute, a cat had jumped onto the set and ran between the astronauts' legs.
So it's Fly Me to the Moon. is
It's
what
Fly
it's
Me to the
called.
Moon. It's really good.
Spoiler.
That's what? I guess we don't need to watch that now.
Show to tell you what's going down in H-Town.
Well, the reason we went to the movies is because we're still without power, and so are about 270,000 people
too.
as of last night. They've returned
When Ryan says
service.
we, it's him and his fiance and me
Yes.
and my family. But I have a generator, thank God. But
We
everybody else in
don't.
the room has their power back.
We're sweating it out.
God.
Even the rich people don't get power. People, they always say, oh, the rich people get it first. Nope. It happens to everyone. You just never know how it happens.
So here's something you got to watch out for. One man threw a rock, another man brandished a gun, and another person battered an electrical crew's truck. While the linemen here are trying to get your power back on, and people are being horrible to them. If you go to cron.com and read the stories about how these linemen are being threatened by, ultra Karens, you've got to just respect these
Can I
men.
hear the stories of all the people that I've seen trying to give them food and water? I mean, there's a lot. I saw somebody
brought them
roll up
water
with a 24-pack of water for them.
Yeah, but the company's saying, please do not be rude to these men and do not threaten them. Governor Abbott returned from his trip and said, quote, I will give Centerpoint until July 31st to provide my office with specific actions that they will take to address the following issues that focus on improving power reliability.
You're going to do the same thing that happened with ERCOT. What are you going to do?
Yeah, nothing.
They're probably like,
Nothing.
we don't do with
Nothing at
ERCOT.
all.
You didn't care?
Yeah, it's like private company type of stuff. You can't interfere.
Yeah, that sucks.
And
So we have to talk about the blood drive too, because it's
Yes.
a really big thing that is happening today. As you
Something
know,
you can do.
The blood bank has been depleted because of the power outage. Gulf Coast Regional Blood Center and our community's blood supply have been significantly impacted by the hurricane. Many blood drives throughout the city were canceled, and several donor centers were temporarily closed because of the power outages. So we are collecting and supplying blood for the area hospitals because that remains top priority. There are 2 locations today that you can go to: Big City Wings in Edo at 2240 Navigation and Big City Wings in Katy at Grand Parkway and Clay. We at KRBE will be there so that you can, get there, donate some blood, maybe get yourself some yummy things to
Might
eat.
have some stuff for you guys, like
All
some
right.
gift cards and stuff. You never know.
Might have some
sounds
little
great.
gifts. And all blood types are welcome because we've got to try to restock the blood supply. All the hospitals that they serve are at their optimal blood inventory level. I mean, until they're at their optimal blood inventory levels. And they were stocked ahead of the storm, during the storm, and after the storm, but we just need to keep that going because think of how that break it took.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
the loss of the blood since there was no power. So you can go to krbe.com and get more information, but it's from 2 to 6 today. That is when our blood drive is happening at Big City Wings Edo and Big City Wings in Katy.
Nice.
All right. Now, coming up next, I want to bring something to the table here. I did something yesterday that made my fiance just face palm, roll her eyes.
Uh-oh.
I mean, big time. And she's like, this could actually be a segment for you to see if you could actually resist doing something. And I'll tell you what it was that I did and how this might
We have
become a
no
segment.
idea. We don't know what this is.
yeah.
They have no idea. I didn't tell them what I want to bring to the table
I
here.
said, all right, let's do it.
So you'll
I
have
felt
to
bad
find
for
out.
the guy. The guy's got no power for a week.
I look like crap. I
It was
didn't
hot
even.
here. I
Is
gotta
it where
get
it makes you
something.
like hilarious?
in
You're
the-
like, this was a good idea.
In the 21 years that
wasn't a
we've
good
been
idea.
together,
After he
have
says
you,
it, he'll be like, oh, did I say that out loud?
yeah, in 21 years we've been together, have you ever seen me come in where I didn't? I shower every single day. I did not. Like I'm just like,
Yeah, I can smell it.
It was that drop.
No,
But why?
yeah.
What's in water though, right?
We have water, but I didn't want to wake her up because the way we've got the fan set up, like I would have had to have woken her up, and she finally fell asleep in this miserable heat. So I'm like, all right, I'm
I
coming
don't know
in
how you
dirty.
can sleep in this.
No,
All right, so
not
this
easy.
could be something or it could be nothing.
I think
Depends
it'll be
on
good.
the delirium of
That's all.
no
I
power.
think it'll be good.
Next on the Roula and Ryan Show.